Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com. Kind of an update video as far as what's going on, and also, as I usually say, there's always a pointed reason behind the video, meaning customer, might be looking at something. So I usually try to go over that. If I have time, we'll do multiple videos, and we've just been swamped, which is awesome. We're usually a little slow in August, but this year has been different. So we were a little slow in July. Maybe it's just picking up from that. Anyway, so quick note on a couple updates going on, at least in our yard. And if you don't know who we are, haven't seen our videos before, definitely take a look at our history on YouTube. There's thousands of videos. You don't need to watch them all. Call them our boring videos. Most of them are just product videos for sales, especially on our larger stuff, frames, tubs, stuff like that. But there is some cool comparison videos and that are invaluable. People call in and just sometimes just say, hey, look, that was super helpful. Kind of let me know what I was getting involved with, or I ran into this issue and I didn't know if it was stock, so that kind of helped me out there. I'm feeling really sick right now, guys, so I apologize. Had my red blood cells, my iron went way down, and a little anemic right now, but I had been for almost a year. I hadn't found out, so if I act like I'm a little woozy right now, that's all it is. And I haven't been spending a lot of time outside, or any more time than I have to. The sun has just been absolute barren, but we're getting that fixed. So that's why I'm a little short of breath and stuff, if you hear me. Not my usual self, or a little spacey right now. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. I don't even know where I left off. But anyway, so next week, I'm going to be leaving Grand Junction, Colorado. Okay, if you don't know where that is, look it up. Essentially, we're about 20 miles off the Utah border, and right kind of smack in between, in the middle of the state, if you look at that, as far as like north-south, and then again closer to the west side. We're really close to Utah. So I'm taking a trailer out. I used to do these runs 3 or 4 times a year, and then we interlace the rest of the year with our hot shot crew. Usually makes a lot more sense just to use a hot shot for us, but it's a personable thing, and I've been doing it for a long time. It's something after having kids, obviously, I always enjoy it, but it's all a little harder having kiddos, especially the young ones at home we have right now. So otherwise, I'd do these more often. When I was my bachelor days, these were fun to do, and didn't really have anybody I was missing at home. So now I got a 4-year-old and a 7-month-old. So I just don't get out as much as I used to. Let's just put it that way. And that's the reason I'm telling you all that, because this is going to be the first trip I've had out east in about a year. I try to squeeze them in when my wife's got either family in town, so somebody's here for her, or she's visiting, and that's the case this time. And I'm going to be all the way, so we'll leave Colorado, and more than likely we'll follow the I-80 route all the way out to East Coast. Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut are on our list right now. We're pretty much stacked as far as tubs go. I haven't loaded the trailer yet, so I always say that with a maybe, but for right now, I'm gonna have to say anybody calls on at least tubs go, that we can tentatively plan on one. If I can find a way to fit it safely for you and for me, then I will. Obviously don't want to damage it or anybody else's or anything else. So if it comes down to it, and really the trailer I actually had it made a few years ago for doing these kind of runs. It's a deck over, so we can put them, essentially the width of it is the perfect size for tubs. And then we usually put 6 tubs and about 14 frames on it. And this trip, for whatever reason, is really our tubs have really exploited this deck space, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. And me not saying no, not that we say no anyway, because like I said, we can always hot shot. And if we get enough people in the next couple days, and there's a possibility of that, I might even bring out another driver for another trailer. So, but as of right now, it's me leaving Colorado. More than likely going to go 70 to 76. That's here in Colorado. That 76 takes us up to Nebraska. That's I-80. And 80 will go to 90 and kind of interchange for a few other different routes up through, all the way up into the northeast, and then coming back Maybe down in North Carolina. Got a buddy down there and a yard I deliver to occasionally. So we might even be down that far south, but definitely Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio, all those states in between. And then depending on how I come back, there is a chance, and it's actually, appreciate your patience, buddy. The whole kind of, like I told you in the beginning, the direction of this video is for a frame here in a second, that we might have a frame going out to Kansas City area or Kansas area. And in that case, I would do 70 all the way out to there and then shoot up to Chicago and do my drops that I have up in that area. So there's plenty of space for frames as of right now. I can stack frames. I'm a little bit, and so is my wife, a little concerned that if we've sold too much for tub space right now, that it's going to limit, what I can do on frames. So I have already about 4 frames going out and then 9 tubs. So, and I have a top deck so we can get that, loaded as well. But anyway, so that's kind of it. All right. So frames, yes, I'll figure it out. Tubs, we'll get you settled up if you find one you like. And if not, or if so, then I'll put them tentatively that I'll try to do it. If we get enough of a load, I'll bring another driver. If not, I'll get my hotshot crew to come out and follow me pretty much right behind. It won't be in perfect sync, but it will be close. And just keep that in mind that hotshots are what we have used, and we have 3 sets of a crew that we use, and they're phenomenal. They're quick, maybe even better than I am in some ways, just for speed. I'm a little bit slower, especially as I get older. I don't run as fast as some of these hotshot guys do. I take my time a little bit, and I also have been able to lately, these last couple times, really enjoyed some time with customers, even though it's not a lot of time. You got some photos, which is cool. A lot of them are retired military, police, state police, fire, and been able to get some patches, which was really cool. My wife's made some pretty neat things with that we're working on. So okay, that's it. That's my update. Okay, and 7 minutes into it, which isn't too bad. Normally I talk for about 20 minutes, but I'm feeling a little under weather. You're gonna get the short version of me today, for whatever that means. So let's go over frames real quick, because frames, like I said, I can make room for frames. So as far as TJs go, I only have 2 that are grade A. I have an early 4-cylinder. Actually, I take that back. We have 3. I have 2 earlies, 1 4, 1 6-cylinder, and I have 1 late. Okay. I have a couple frame sections. We don't cut our frames almost any circumstance unless they don't check out. We always measure, we scope our frames. If we scope them and there's rust, they end up in that thing, literally. We do not like rust. Oxidation, light scaling, okay. You'll see it though. If we have it, we'll point it out. But really, that's it. We don't, if there's rot, if there's anything like that, if it's something we can still salvage a section of it, we'll cut them up. Otherwise, they just go to the scrap bin. And same with something that doesn't measure in at. So, okay, so a couple of TJs ones left, but not much on that. I got a good amount of YJs, but not a lot of 6-cylinders. I have a couple that are modified for different motors right now. Those ones are always discounted. Even a nice clean frame, been modified for whatever, LSs or AMC V8s, whatever. Like that one there is not pulled yet, but that was a setup for 360. So it means the mounts have been modified on them. If you're gonna be putting some other kind of motor in it, I would say save the money, because I discount modified frames almost as much as I do for an imperfection, okay? So it's a good way to get a really clean frame, because we kind of pride ourselves on being an OEM yard. Doesn't mean we won't sell non-OEM, but as far as our inventory goes, okay? So I may have 2 or 3 top-notch 6-cylinder YJ frames. I don't have many of those. I have 3 or 4 modified, and modified could be engine mounts are the same. Okay, this is actually a 6-cylinder one here, but it's had shackle reversal. Okay, not a huge discount for something like that, because that's actually a good swap, but there's a discount, especially if it wasn't done right or wasn't done cleanly. Somebody's gonna have to clean it up a little bit, so keep that in mind. That's one of those frames right there. Okay, CJ7 frames, I only have 2 really clean Y tracks, and then the rest of them are good. They're nice. There's a stack of them over there. but not top notch like I normally like to be, which is like this guy back here will be. We have 2 late, so wide track, and 1 early narrow grade A, and then the rest of them are going to be Bs. And Bs are still quality, especially from what you guys are probably used to if you're in the Midwest, East Coast. And then CJs further back, we're talking 75 or pre. There's a couple oddballs around here. Most of them have been somewhat modified because they all have been back in the day. Sometimes those were good modifications, reinforcing frame, plating, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking way too much, I'm getting lightheaded. Anyway, there's a couple of those floating around, and there's might even be a Commander frame out here. And then my CJ6 tub did sell, and that's actually going to be going out on this trip, and that frame sold as well. It's the same guy. So, and then we have some other good stuff going out. So, I probably won't get into tubs too much on this video. Maybe just a tad or a touch, just for not only our Kansas City or Kansas customer, but I had a couple other tub calls today. And again, just put these in the back of your mind that if I go over a tub in this video, it's going to be like an 80% chance it won't be coming out of my load, but I can still have it delivered either the same time or maybe even before I get out there. So, okay. And I only emphasize that because tubs this time of year start moving very quickly. Everybody waits until November, December, January, which is when it gets cold out. We call it our project season. But by then, most of our good tubs, if not all of them, have been sucked up. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We don't have a lot of real clean tubs. We have a few TJ ones left. I think we have 1 CJ one that was pending, and he ended up choosing a different tub. So that one got released. That's a nice CJ7 tub. And then we have a couple 5s and yada, yada. So, man, the sun is brutal right now. Okay, let me get back to talking about these frames. Now, these frames are going to be low-grade frames for us, meaning that they're not, I don't even know how to put it really. I mean, they're still nice frames, but we have a high standard with our frames, especially when it comes to stuff we stock on. So, let me show you what I mean by that. These are your 4-cylinder frames here. And there's kind of a variety, but the ones that I kind of mentioned, this one here. Now these have been scoped, meaning there's no cancer, rot, cracking, anything major on them. They're still together, but like that one there is a good candidate for either sandblast, or if not sandblast, definitely get it down to the bare metal, and you can kind of see it there. It's just browned. A lot of the paint's worn off. You can tell, like this second one down, that's all factory paint on these guys. This one's got a little surface there and there from steps being on it, but overall that one's clean. So that the real cheap ones obviously are going to be the ones that are a little uglier, but again, depending on what you're working with, for those of you out there who are working with like nothing, which is very common on YJs, to get real bad ones. So your stack is this one again for your 4s, your 6s are over here, and there's 2, I think they're at the very bottom there, real clean 6s, and the rest of them I'd say are Bs on those. These guys, I'd say a C on that guy. When I say C, you're looking at typically about $800 on a C frame through us. And again, we'll still scope, measure them. All the same stuff goes in them. We don't want to be sending you something that's going to be the exact same shape yours is in here shortly, but they check out on that stuff, then we just get discounts. So normally 800, we have that one discounted down quite a bit more. The one above it has got a weird bumper on it, which would have to come off for this particular load anyway. That's a nice frame. That would be in your B range, so a little bit more. And then most of the rest of these are going to be Bs. That one might be a C at the top. So around that, like I told you earlier, that price. And I hate putting pricing. People always get on me, why don't you put price in your videos? This is why, guys. I've been doing this for now, this is my 19th year. Do you think that in that course of 19 years, prices have changed a little bit? Yeah, they have. Not a lot, actually. Most of our frames are pretty much have been that way for the last 10 years for pricing. But I still get a customer that finds a 2008 video and is like, hey, I want to buy this thing. And hey, what date on it? You know, sometimes I don't even know what video they're talking about. There's a lot of them out there. And I look it up, I'm like, oh man, that video's from 08, you know. And I used to do pricing. I used to say in the videos, and it's kind of like, you know, almost do we even pull them down because it just throws people a little bit. But, you know, it comes back to a few things. One is they're getting, especially YJs, CJs, and now even the TJs are getting extremely hard to get. Used to be you could find a TJ, YJ, CJ at auction, and I'm not talking private party because that fluctuates over time, but at auction for, you know, I'd say in the 200 to 300, how many there are available. So 200 to 300 vehicles available at any given time behind, you know, and that's amongst all the auction sites. Now you're looking at 10, sometimes 20 at most, and most of those are East Coast, Midwest, so they're going to be rusted. They're very hard to find out of Cali, Colorado, New Mexico, you know, all these states that don't have rust. There's very few in. Matter of fact, I was looking last week, and I was looking for a real particular one for a conversion we're doing, and no, nothing. I mean, you know, hopefully eventually we can find something for them. But so I believe that's it for my real low ones. I thought I actually had more, so they are selling. That's good, because I think that stack I just showed you of like 4 was like 14 beginning of July. So of course we have that 6-cylinder one there. This is a nice, this is probably a grade A. And it looks like another 6. Oh, that's a 4. So there's a nice clean 4 there. There's that TJ. This one is a, looks like another, that might be a 4. Hard to tell when they're upside down because I look at the motor mounts. So that's going to do it for us for right now, okay? And as we uncover more, obviously we'll listen more. I'm not going to get into it too much. This is a, man, I really need some water right now. I have to go inside here. This is a tub. I'll do a better job here in a little bit listing it. I just want to point out real quick, this is an 80. 80's kind of a funny year on CJs. It's not the early one, it's not the late one, it's kind of a couple between the two. You have a late style roll bar that mounts in them, but you have early style doors. And to modify one or the other, there are ways to do it. I have a video up of how to do that, or not really how to, but what the differences are to see if you can do that. But just keep in mind that if you're not running doors, it's not gonna be a big deal to you. But on this particular tub, if you had a late model tub and you had hard doors, half doors are easier, but hard doors specifically, they don't have the cutouts or even the spacing for your strikers. So you have to build something in those to do that. So this is really, it's easier to use this tub on an early one and then adapt your roll bar than it is to use this tub on a later one and try to do that. But again, it's a really clean tub, beautiful tub, top and bottom. There's not a bit of rust on this thing. Everything is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm putting it out there. It won't last long. Like I said, I had this one kind of already sold, but the customer did have an earlier one and was going off of like a frame off, numbers matching, so we ended up going with that one. And then of course TJ tubs, we got a couple options there, and I really started to talk about this because of YJ stuff. So this might be a couple of those other frames we have for YJs actually. Nope, these are the CJ ones. So. And then, yeah, as far as YJ tubs go, especially like cheaper ones, because I mean, that's the big deal, right? If it's super cheap, it's gonna have an issue with it. And yes, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's no, in our yard, cheap doesn't really exist as far as tubs go because they take so long and hard to find them. When we do get a cheap one in, it usually has some sort of problem with it. So these tubs here are still actually good, nice, clean tubs. Obviously not fully stripped down, so there's always a possibility we find something that would discount it down. But that tub should check out to be, I don't know, maybe an A, maybe a high B. It depends on when we get it down. I do have a one over there. This is another one that's probably going to be in that range. And there's no more there. It's a CJ tub, blue one. This one here, maybe a cheap one. we'll have to pull the diamond plate on it because diamond plate always hides some stuff, it seems like. This one was a V8 conversion, and a lot of stuff was used from a CJ. But this one might check out good. And these are one of those things I always tell people. When you call on a tub, if you have a little bit of time, always ask, especially on YJs and TJs too, pre-dismantle. Pre-dismantle ones just mean that you're taking a little bit of a chance. There's warranties, there's guarantees even, that if it's worse than, we'd shell all the stuff out of it from the inside. And we'll get a really good overview of the video and send it to you, and then we'll price it based on that video. And then if something comes back, you know, later on, let's just say the floor was up under the torque pockets for the frame are bad, we didn't see that, then you can get out of it. You can actually transfer it. If we have something that's comparable, transfer it over. Sometimes if we don't, we'll even push into something even cleaner for the same price. So it's not really a gamble on your part at all, but it does allow us to cash flow things. And then the other thing is it locks you in at least a $500 discount, which is just a pre-dismantle discount we give. And then if it comes back cleaner, you're locked in, you're good to go. We're not going to call you and say, hey, this one's actually nicer and we can get more out of it. So a good opportunity to save some money that way. This is definitely going to be a lower grade. You can see the corners banged up. This one probably will have good floors though, good torque pockets. And if corners aren't a big deal to you, or you can swap them because there are kits for those, then I would say this would be a good option because this will be discounted quite a bit. That corners aren't too big of a discount normally, but it looks like somebody jousted the side here, or maybe turned it into a tree or something. It's got a pretty good ding there. Does not affect the door jamb. Luckily, it was low enough. But, and again, this was a fire Jeep too, so we'll have to peel all that back. But there's a good opportunity there to get a tub could be rust free for next to nothing. Now we get this thing, let's just say we don't pre-dismantle this one, it just gets eventually dismantled and gets stripped down, and it checks out absolutely beautiful, minus the damage here, the damage there, but it's all rust free. Then it will be priced accordingly. Damage definitely gets discounted, but rust-free stuff still, rust-free stuff still sometimes falls into the B category. So, and right now it'd probably be priced as a C. So, so that's that one. This should be a clean one, hopefully. This one's roasted. This was actually in Indiana. I've had this thing for like 10 years. I've dragged this thing with me from Erie, and part of the reason, well, it's got a roll bar that might be able to get salvaged for somebody, although this is the family saw everybody wants. This one's probably rusted, so I wouldn't even look at that. But really, I brought this thing and I'm about to squish it because it doesn't belong here anymore. But I wanted to really show Coloradans, you know, what rust is, and this is exactly what Midwest guys and sometimes even worse deal with. So we don't around here use salt on our roads, and really nobody knows what rust even is. This gives them a little bit of a window, but I've seen several that are even worse than that. So this was damaged. This was a nice tub. Unfortunately, it is absolutely smoked. It was rolled over. I've had this one for quite a while too. Floors could probably be cut on this one, but it'd be better off if somebody came in and did that, because the time we have into it wouldn't be worth it for somebody usually. This one actually, this was another one that was hit in the front, and it's got a couple buckles in it. This one probably is going to have a little rust. The area it came out of was also Kansas, ironically. Not as bad as what you're dealing with, and but you can see the cowl is smoked on it. This is kind of a harder place to repair too. You'd have to, you could do it. You'd have to bang this thing out pretty good. Surprisingly, didn't have as much rust as you see out of that area, but that's just because it wasn't used very often in winter. This one is spoken for as of right now. We actually sold this one as a whole unit. We don't usually do that all that often, but in the case of this one all kind of fit together the way it was. So we do have this one tentatively pending right now. And then that's it for YJs. Nothing loose at the moment for YJs. They do sell typically as if they get pulled. Now, loose meaning not listed. There is a YJ tub up at the upper lot here where we leave our tubs, especially when we're about ready to take them out with us. And I think there's still at least one more B, maybe even an A grade up there. So, and then the three that we just got in, Well, I should say 2 we just got in because one of them was a Cherokee. So 3 total. That Cherokee came in. This YJ, one of them. And as far as a tub, yeah, this one should be a decent tub. It's got sliders on the side, so it's hard to say what's underneath that. We can still work out a pre-dismantle on this one. This one came out of Colorado. I don't anticipate there being anything rust-wise on this one. Corners look to be pretty good. Lower rocker looks good. And I've been underneath this one. This one's pretty clean. So other than the holes that will be discounted for the sliders on it, this one should turn out to be a good tub for somebody. That tub is sold already. And actually one of the tubs is going out with me. And I think there's 2 more up here. Black one here, the top just sold on it. This one should be a decent one. It's got a little damage. Just came out of Arizona. So, and the doors are available. This passenger side is pretty damaged, but I have a good clean passenger side that can match with that nice driver. The top did sell. We have other tops so if you need one. I don't anticipate there being any rust in this Jeep. Again, because it was out of Phoenix, there's a little bit of a dent there. Actually has a pretty good sized dent. This one will be also pre-dismantled. This one will probably be down quite a bit, at least before it comes apart, because of the damage on those doors, or those rocker area. This side's beautiful. Nothing should come back, nice cowl. And then we should get a nice windshield frame out of that one. I'm missing one more. That one's sold. That's a whole Jeep. We don't sell them whole very often, but that's going to PA. It was kind of a rare California Jeep. 107K, automatic, 4.2, no rust. Got a little damage on the fender, but pretty clean YJ there. Runs and drives, so. I'm missing one more I wanted to show you, but I don't even remember the color of the thing. I know we had a blue one come in. Oh, it's a red one. I think that one might be up at the house, actually. They're not supposed to park things up here, but when they think we might be fixing one, they'll do that. This one also came out of Colorado. This one runs and drives. You already got it running. I think that's why they put it up here. Now, we live on our property. This has been a lot longer video. I'm absolutely wiped out right now. All right. And the sun is what gets me. Getting low on iron. I didn't think the sun would affect you. Normally trudging around the sun is my favorite thing to do, but right now, looks like Mama's on her way to pick up Bubba. So not all the parts, not everything up here is parts. A lot of these are customer rigs. Just put it inside, I'll come in. She's sleeping. I gotta get out of the sun. I'm just trying to finish a video or 2 up. Okay, so LJ Rubicon. It's mine, it's for sale. Okay, I'm building the garage. I've had it listed for a little bit. I've lowered it a little bit, not a lot. This is the customer's. This thing's getting a motor. We actually put a motor in it. Runs good, but still has a little bit of a knock, so I don't like selling them that way. This one is, they're far worth more in parts, but here it was in the Nevada TJ clean title, automatic. That top has sold, so the top does not come with it. This one's gonna be available probably, I don't know, we've been taking with this thing for 6 months. We just don't have a lot of time to fix them all that often. So that's a TJ. There's a Liberty back here. There's a couple 5.0 Mustangs. That one we might get, that CJ7, waiting on that one. These Cherokee, this is a 2-door Cherokee. It's got a ding on the fender, but overall it's pretty clean. It was a limited. Clean title on that one. One of our Honda Ridgeline, 2014. That one's gonna be up for sale here soon. Some of these I buy at auction when I can't get a Jeep, and then I come home, my wife said, what the heck did you buy? I'm like, oh, they're kind of cool looking. This is kind of cool, but pulling on a Jeep and didn't feel the need I was hoping it would for her. I was hoping she'd Turo out her 4Runner and drive this one, but she has Turo in it, but she likes to drive it more too. So Liberty, this is a manual Liberty, so kind of rare. Not that we go after Liberties all that often, but the ones that we like are these kind of unusual ones. The other Liberty over there is a Renegade. That's another reason we have that guy. That Comanche I probably am going to sell. I've had it for, well, we bought out Phil's Jeep World up in Montana, at least what was left when he passed away, and that was one of the things I got from them. And I've had it for a shop truck. It's beautiful, rust-free. It's got a couple dings on it here and there, and the interior needs to be redone, but short bed, super rare truck. That one I might part ways with, but it'll have to be for the right amount on that guy. This is the YJ. This one I was gonna part, probably still will part. It's got some things on we can sell pretty quickly, doors and top. This one runs and drives. Jerry got this thing running and driving. 4.2, so 6-cylinder, 89. Tranny feels good in it. I think they drove it in all gears, but I'll double check on that. Swing out tire carrier. Couple dings on the tub, it looks like, on the back, but this should be a nice clean, for the most part, clean tub. It'll have a couple bruises. 5.9 Dakota. I kind of went after those guys when I can. Those are kind of hard to get. You can get the V8s, but not so much those 5.9s. I only did those in a year or two. This one's going to be available for sale once I get the front bumper, which is the original Renegade bumper. I have that in the garage. I just needed to get this foam piece reattached correctly. And little DJ Jerry made. That thing runs. That one's can be sold. This is a customer's. This is a big frame tub swap we're doing here. And that Renegade, beautiful. Those are kind of rare. Those are getting more rare. I got the big blown fenders. That's a 4-liter manual. That one just got a new tranny put in. We try not to sell them just like, you know, if they need a whole bunch. Those ones just usually get parted. If something comes in, it runs, you know, drives good, you know, we don't have to do a ton to it, or if we do have to do it with something we have parts for. There's our big yard, 7 acres. And I'm not going to go too far down this because I'm almost probably only 30 minutes. But those are all listed anyway, so if you get to our website, now of those tubs, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 12. There's 12 total over there. 6 of those have sold. So go to the site. The zeros are obviously the ones that are sold. Those are still up. We haven't purged them yet. We usually purge every 2 months. And then the ones that are still up showing one quantity will get you. But those tubs are what I have listed, videoed, photoed, everything ready to rock. What's left over there. And guys, I think that's it. Anything you've seen that I didn't point out and you're interested in, any parts that, you know, obviously we have a lot more parts down there than I didn't even touch our Connex boxes, which are good running, driving with compression tested motors. A lot of those, lately we've been able to get some 4.2s in. We might even have an 0506 left out there. A couple 4-liters, just the distributor and the coil ones. Need a work truck? That's got a brand new motor in it. Literally, we put it in Duramax, 4-wheel drive, long bed, no rust. I blew that motor back in 2020, and it took forever, of course, with COVID, to get anything on it. So we bought this truck. This is a 06, an LLY. This is an LBZ. This one's probably going to go up for sale too. Both of these are good running trucks. This one's a little harder for me to sell. If you've ever owned an LBZ, you'll know why. Also rust-free, short bed though. And that's the main reason, is I have that Kodiak quad cab down there. That's actually the vehicle I'll be delivering in. And then that Kodiak over there, single cab, that's a 4-wheel drive I drove to Oklahoma to get. And all that stuff is going to bolt right into that thing. And then I just got to change the air stuff over, air ride. So, okay, lots of talking. 303-666-9020, partsbriggers.com. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully here, by the time I start my deliveries, I'll be feeling a lot better. So, and we'll talk to you guys later.